Hello, this is Chala Dinkoy, CEO and founder of The Repositioning Expert, coming to you with another edition of the Naked Marketing Podcast, where we get honest, authentic, and vulnerable with our marketing mistakes. My next guest is Jerry Macnamara in the beautiful setting of Florida, which I don't know if that's a beach in Florida, but welcome.
Thank you for having me. Yes, it is nice and warm in Jacksonville Beach, and I know it's a little bit colder in Toronto.
In Toronto. I know. Well, you actually look tanned. I don't know if it's the lights or what, but my God, good for you.
Thank you.
So tell us who you help and what you do, Jerry.
So I work with CEOs so that they can have fun again. And we do that by creating compelling companies that outperform and still make it home for dinner. And so usually the businesses that I work with are kind of in acceleration mode and somehow are in some type of pain or chaos, hence the name of my company. You've proven there's a marketplace, but you're in chaos because your people, your systems, or your process haven't quite kept up. And so we help figure that out so that people can get home for the dinner with their families.
You know, fun is not a term that I am used to associating with CEOs. And I've worked for Pepsi, Pizza Hut, Frito-Lay for 18 years. That is just not one thing that they talked about in those days. How is it that you have come to do this for a living?
So over the course of my life, I've been really lucky. I've been on senior leadership teams in 5 different businesses, 5 different industries, B2B, B2C. And what I really look to do is, if you're not having fun, why should you do it, right? We only live once, I think. And I think the way you do that is you create real clarity for yourself on what your vision, your values, and your actions are to create alignment, which is really fulfillment. And fulfillment is fun because you're living your life on your terms. And so I help people get really clear on what it is, the impact that they want to make on the life and what their values are. So what are the guardrails so that you stay really comfortable and clear on how you treat people. It's your operating system. And when you do that, it is fun. And so not only is profit not a dirty word, fun shouldn't be a dirty word either inside business. In fact, I feel like it should be an imperative.
The first priority for sure. So tell me, did you ever work in the corporate world, or were you like born an entrepreneur?
So I have always been in kind of stage 1, stage 2 businesses. I've not been in large corporations, although I have consulted with larger corporations. In fact, the call that I was on just before this one, we were laughing because he's exited his business and now is in a large technology startup. It's Series C funding. And he said, Jerry, the same problems that I had at my company, that was in the sub $10 million mark, he said, are they exactly the same at, $100 million company? It's just, we have the resources, the money, and the intellectual people to help solve those problems faster. But the problems are all the same.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? It is so true. So this is a marketing show. So tell us, the thing that you do is kind of, it sounds like it would be very referral based. There's not a lot of CEOs running around looking for fun or coaching or, liberation from chaos. So how do you actually market other than word of mouth?
So word of mouth is certainly a key piece. But the other piece of it is, and it's really my biggest marketing mistake, because when I look at what I've done over the course of my career, it is to share my experience and perspective with other people so that they don't have to make the same mistakes that I've made over the course of my career. And so it's a lot of content-based marketing. It's coming on to podcasts. I'm grateful for the opportunity to come and share the message with your community. And I made the mistake of not sharing my perspective earlier. And so, I've been consulting to businesses for over 3 years. And it's only recently that I've gotten serious about producing content of extreme value. And, one of the things that I say is, if you think you're building a company in this day and age, you're doing it all wrong. You should be building a community on a mission. And the only way you can do that is if you have shared values. Well, the only way you can see if you have shared values in today's day and age is to share your perspective. And so I didn't do that for a long period of time. And that was really just because, whether it was imposter syndrome, a lack of courage, wondering whether people would say, oh, that's a bad idea, that's a stupid idea. I didn't do that. And I missed a significant opportunity to help people over time.
Yeah.
And so that's my miss, but I am fully committed to rectifying that mistake. In fact, the mission that I'm on is to help 5 million people over the next 5 years.
Wow.
Through better business. And because I look and say, there's no one that shows up every day and says, you know what, I really want to suck today. But there's so many people that go to work and hate the work that they do, or don't respect the leader that they have. They have a lack of clarity in their business. And so they go home every day totally disengaged from the business. And so it's my goal to fix that.
Yeah, I mean, I love that you thank you for, getting vulnerable and naked marketing with us. But I'm always of the opinion that passive plus active really equals momentum. So that I find that the, content creation, even though it has that visibility and it's so scary and, you're putting yourself out there, and that's great, but it's very passive. So are you doing any active marketing? Like, is there any outreach, or is, the passive converting at the rate that you're happy with?
Yeah, so a really good question. I think a corollary to that in the active side is I'm in the middle of building a podcast surrounding my business about compelling companies that outperform. And it's really looking for Inc. 500 CEOs. So that's your fast growing companies, combined with a best places or great places to work. So you have the company that was able to grow quickly, but their people still love being there. And to me, that is the hallmark of, if your people would show up every day and do it for free, that's when you have something special. And so, combining those things into a podcast, we do have an outreach going out right now. We use LinkedIn to do that because it's easy to search, it's easy to find those people. And then obviously you have the inked list that you can go and then marry up to the best places to work. So there is a bit of research to that, but it's worth it for sure.
Yeah. So the outreach is for the guesting, to source the guests for the podcast, right? Yeah.
To source the guests. Yep.
That's fabulous.
Yeah. And for me, I think, at least in my experience in expertise, when you put something into the marketplace and that idea resonates with people, you start to build that trust and that transformation and a relationship between people. And so for me, the idea of active outreach, I haven't had to go that route because for me, it's really more about impact than it is income for me at this stage of my life. And so I want to make sure that the impact, the tools that I have are used for good to make a positive impact on the world. That's what I'm after.
Oh, that's great. I mean, it's great to be in that position, and you definitely look younger than me. So I don't know what you're talking about, but it's great to be in that position, and it's great to have that mission, and
yes,
the business is aligning for that. That's wonderful. So tell us your last sort of parting marketing advice for all the folks watching us.
Yeah. So again, I would be in the mindset of don't build a company, build a community on a mission. The second piece of that is provide extreme value. Don't hold anything back. Give everything to the community that you can, and then invite people along on the mission. And so when you do that, I think, again, communities on a mission, I look at Tesla and Nike and Peloton. I mean, all of these have created amazing communities around their business that are all purpose driven. And so if you are not in that mindset in today's day and age with the great resignation going on and people looking for purpose in their work, then I think you are in a big heap of trouble as a company.
Thank you so much. And how can people reach you, Jerry?
So I'm very active on LinkedIn. That's an easy place to find me, just under Jerry Macnamara. Or you can visit my website, which is provenchaos.com. One thing that I do for the community as far as active outreach is I hold office hours every Thursday from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern. And I've been doing that since November 2019, before that was even a thing during COVID. And so it's an opportunity for senior leaders and CEOs to gather. come as you are, come as you can type environment. And whenever you have something going on, you have lots of smart senior leaders that are there to help you try and solve it.
So is that open to anybody who's watching, or you have a vetting system? How does it work?
Yeah, so office hours are just open to anyone. And so if you go to provenchaos.com, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a registration link for Zoom. And again, it's a free call. It's not lead generation. Again, it's just the opportunity to help people. And to me, that just achieves my mission of helping 5 million people over the next 5 years.
Wow, that is a great number. I love it. Thanks for being on the show, Jerry.
Thank you. Appreciate it.